Hello, everyone. It's now 8:06 p.m. I just want to say I am extremely overwhelmed and tired. Well, last night, of course, I got absolutely no sleep at all, and I showed y'all and told y'all what happened. So that was traumatizing and frightening. I wanted to say thanks to y'all, whoever helped me out and been helping me out. As I said, I've been doing my due diligence in my part with trying to look for jobs, housing, and no success yet. I just got up here. So, you know, give me some time and don't be so hard on me because, ow, oh, wait, oh, shucks, oh, shit, oh, man, oh, they're causing a fake Charlie horse on my right side. As soon as I said that, oh. So yeah, the manufactured directed energy weapon fake Charlie horses. Excuse me. So excuse me. So I'm in the dark in the hotel room. Somebody, a couple of people pitched in and helped me with. I was able to get a couple of nights in a hotel room. Um, Out of the cold. So hopefully, maybe somebody might call me tomorrow and tell me, oh, come fill out your W-4 forms and let's do some onboarding or whatever. Who knows? I don't know, but it's like I've been running around so much to be so fat and getting old. But so I mean, I've been going through all this and then suffering depression at the same time. It's really rough, and suffering like heavy anxiety. And so I wanted to say thanks to y'all who helped me out. I try to personally thank y'all through email, messages, or the most on Cash App you can do is an emoji, and you can send a little message through PayPal. Um, so, and I think maybe a little message on Venmo as well. But I wanted to make sure that y'all are getting your thank you emails or thank you messages, for helping me out and stuff. I really hate that I'm going through this. So, I was trying to say, don't be so hard on me. The fact that I'm trying what I could, and the gang stalkers, they want to hinder you and hold you back from living independently or surviving independently because they're narcissistic enough to try to force you to feel like you gotta need them. And I'm trying whatever to survive independently without them. And so I have been advised to not live with people because if you live with somebody, then there's a possibility that they can become either a perp or a handler. And I don't want any fucking handlers. I don't want any handlers at all. So I mean, I don't need any handlers. So now that I'm in my situation, they got so many people trying to lure me to where they are. Oh, come here, come here, come there. Oh, oh, we TIs need to stick together. There's strength in numbers. Oh, let's use some wisdom here and whatever. And after, as I said, I'm gonna make it clear again. I really didn't even want to go by Trisha, but I let my guard down because of the fact that it's my hometown, New Orleans, so I should be all right. I'm familiar with that place, but Um, I went through what I went through with Trisha and Lisa Ruby and that lady that locked me up in her RV. I'm not going. And I got called a fool every time. So now I get manipulated, into being lured to coming somewhere. And if I have an altercation with that person, you're going to defend and agree with and believe that perp. So I don't trust going by anyone at all. And then they manipulate and switch the narrative like I'm the one who burned or hurt them. And they know how to manipulate their lies to be convincing. So I always, since a teenager, wanted to strive to be independent. More like 7 years old, because no, more like six, because I used to, first thing I wanted to learn to do was cook independently and wash dishes. And I didn't realize the foster mom would be evil enough to you. Come on, man. I used to think it was cool to, how little kids are. You think it's cool to do grown things and be independent because it's like you can't do that yet, and so you're fascinated by other people who can do what you can't do. So I think I was 4 years old, and I always wanted to learn how to style my own hair or wash my own hair, but nah, they wouldn't let me do it. So I was 6 years old, I think, when I first started to be interested in cooking. And then I was 7 years old when I started to be fascinated with washing dishes and cleaning up. But I didn't realize that the foster mom would weaponize that and use that as a form of punishment and manipulation. So because of that, I ended up with OCD and anxiety disorders. And but at the same time, I hate cleaning up at other people's orders. I mean, especially, and I didn't realize that's narcissistic control. When people catch me off guard and tell me you got to clean this, or put me on the spot and make it like, and then put me under pressure. I'd rather just clean up on my own free will, on my own time. So I mean, I ended up feeling like I hate janitorial and dishwashing jobs because it re-traumatizes me all over again from my childhood. And it's like, due to the gang stalking, that's the only jobs they'll let me have. And then the trauma of remembering the small janitorial closet, the closets, they used to lock me up in those, me and my twin sister, when we were in kindergarten. So, a small dark janitorial closet to lock you up in all day, every day, thinking that would correct your so-called bad behavior when they're just abusive, narcissistic kindergarten teachers who don't have patience with special ed kids. So I mean, people act like as if they only want to give you what you experienced, and I'm like, but no, I want to try something new. I'm tired of and don't want to do janitorial and dishwashing or cleaning up. I want to try a different avenue of work and employment or something, But I mean, all these controlling narcs in society. I mean, I think that if you wanted to work and be employed, a lot of people aren't happy with their jobs because they can't really do what they want or fulfill what they would love to. Um, I mean, I think that everybody should live wherever they want and do whatever job that they want and be their own boss, and then everybody can be happy. So I don't care if you think that oh, Candy's thinking like a childish 5-year old thinking like that. Oh well, that's your opinion. Go somewhere. So I was, I mean, like I got no sleep last night at all, and then I felt the sleep deprived feeling when I was arguing with that perp, and then you know I try to walk up that bridge and try to go to Covington, Kentucky, across the bridge, and the moment I got on the bridge, I started to have a panic attack and afraid that I might fall, even though there was protection. But I started to feel extreme panic attack, um, and extreme anxiety. And I don't know why I kept on having fears that I would be so fat that I would fall through the bridge. I mean, or having these fears that I might fall off the bridge or be unsafe or whatever. But everybody else is walking it like normal, and I'm like, this is, the sleep deprivation causing me heightened fear and of something that I normally would just take a breeze and walk. So I can't believe that once I got up there, I mean, I was, been fascinated with that bridge, you know, but I got really scared once I got on it, and everybody else is walking it like normal, and cars drive over there. So I don't know why I would be scared that I'm gonna fall, and but I guess the sleep deprivation make you feel that way. And so I think I was borderline blacking out and barely dozing off while I was arguing with that guy, and I tried to keep a close eye on him. I couldn't record him the whole time because he was deliberately doing stuff on purpose to manipulate me to have to use up more storage space and phone data and all, and battery, run up down my battery and all that. So everybody's always finding fault with me, what I did or said wrong, or what I should have done XYZ and stuff like that. So it was so cold. They said that Waffle House was the closest, but I couldn't get over there, and so I'm glad I found me a spot where I could go pee. And then after that, I took the bus, and thinking that I could ride going all the way to the end of the line on the opposite side of town, like, and then come do a round trip and come back. I mean, I had a day pass, and I was trying to do it to stay hoping that I could stay warm and out of the cold weather. I mean, I had to be out in 27-degree weather. So it was in the middle of the night after 1 o'clock. I noticed that somebody had donated me something, and I'm like, well, I couldn't. Well, I felt like I was just gonna wait until later on, which is now, to be in a hotel room so that way today and then tomorrow I have two nights in the hotel, and then Wednesday it look like I have to probably be back on the streets again, and then I think it's supposed to, like, so Tuesday night and Wednesday night it look like it's supposed to be like 50 degrees and fine, but then by Thursday it's supposed to rain and then get back to crazy cold weather again. So but tonight and tomorrow night is supposed to be about 30 degrees. So so I was running for the bus because I was afraid of being passed up, because that's what I mean. I've been dealing with being passed up by the buses all the time. So the bus driver gave me a narcissistic lecture and treated me like as if I was breaking some rule by running for the bus, and trying to narcissistically make it like as if it was nonsensical or foolish or pointless for me to run for the bus. saying that he gonna wait, that he gonna you know wait 5 minutes or whatever. And I'm like, well, I didn't know, I'm new here. So then he went to the end of the line, and then he said that he was going into the garage, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know. I thought that you were gonna you know run a normal route. And so I said, I'm just trying to get out the cold. And so then he dropped me off near the main bus garage, and there was a couple of bus stops there, and that the bus that was supposed to take um both of them never came. The other two buses, possible buses that I could have took, and then I had to wait nearly an hour in 27-degree weather waiting for the bus. And so then it was so cold and I couldn't take it no more. And then the moment I was about to press that button for an Uber ride, I think it was like $11 or something, then the bus finally came. So I was able to save an Uber ride and you know, just use the day pass, the 24-hour day pass, and get back on a different bus. But I had to wait because the bus driver dropped me off at like 6:20 or 6:21, and he said, "Oh, the next bus is supposed to come in 5 minutes or so." Never came. Then another bus on another route that came that did not come. So then the other bus came at 7:15. It was 4 minutes late. And so when I got on the bus and explained to the other bus driver, he ignored me and acted like he didn't care and looked at me like I was crazy. Then I rode the bus and then I got off. Then I went to go eat breakfast. And it was so cold, and there was a man who was nice enough to let us in. And then I went to, I ate breakfast, and then the man had I didn't realize that I was scratching my leg because of the bed bugs. And me being sleep deprived and my consciousness going in and out, like they call micro sleeps. So I didn't realize that I was smiling at him and scratching my leg and didn't realize at the same time. And so he gave me this weird look, and I felt bothered like all day long. I just felt really bad. So then I went somewhere. I'm not going to say exactly where I went because of the online perps, but they always fraudulently and illegally figure out where I'm at. So that's why I figured they got to be tracking me, or cyber tracking, or cyber stalking me, or whatever, hacking my phone or whatever. So I don't know what's going on. So I went into this building to get out the cold after breakfast. And then this lady, she looked like she must have been the janitor because she had a broom in her hand. And so then I was looking for a place to sit. And I was looking for a place to sit. And then after that, she invited me to sit down somewhere, and me and her started talking. And then after, she, asked me why I was there, and I told her why. And I mean, in a nice, curious way, not a, oh, you don't belong here kind of thing. But, she was nice, and she seemed very interested in my short stories, and she read a couple of them, no criticism at all. I had to brace myself for criticism. And she said she really, 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 really liked the short stories, So, and I'm like, well, hardly anybody wants to read my short stories. So it's hard for me to get anybody interested in reading my short stories, because the online perps want me to feel like that I must be considered the worst writer of all time because they put on a fake act of criticizing my short stories or criticizing my writing every chance they get, or try to get my writing shut down. Y'all, I already told y'all what they do about my writings and everything, but they stop me from making any money from any living at all, and then lie and say that I want free handouts. They get me wrongfully fired from jobs, write false bad reviews on all my ebooks, tell everybody don't support her, and then they'll lie and make it like as if I'm the one who's lazy and don't want to work, and that I just want free handouts. And if I try to accomplish something, they successfully manipulate and turn everybody against me and put a halt to whatever I'm trying to accomplish. Even if I try to hide it from them, they still find me no matter what. I mean, without having to even announce or telling anybody about my TikTok or show any videos, they find my TikTok anyway, or any other social media. I'm like, well, I already knew that they were going to find my blog anyway. I kept that secret for a couple of months, for a while. But as I said, the TikTok video with the vehicle donation request, the online fake perp Darnell Williams, he fraudulently and illegally shut that down and successfully turned everybody against me. And I showed y'all in a community post about him bragging about turning everybody against me. And so they're abusive bullies who act like they want to try to control me like cattle. And they all need to be arrested and locked up. Even the fake TI perps, they all need to be locked up. And fake TI perps got the same blood on their hands as the regular perps. The same dirty blood on their hands. Well, I'm going to say blood on their dirty hands. I'm going to say innocent blood on their dirty hands. So, after the short while after I talked to that lady, I was blacking out and dozing off and falling asleep, trying to force myself to stay awake. And then later on, I went somewhere else and charged my phone and fell asleep. And I think I woke up. I mean, I guess I slept for 2 hours after that, and then woke up about 2 o'clock or 2:30. And another person had helped me out too, and so I had to call around for hotels and make sure that they don't require a deposit before I book. So the other hotel of the same chain, they require a $100 deposit, but when I come over here, they say, "Oh, well, if you get a smoking room, you don't have to worry about deposit. But if it's non-smoking, then yeah, you gotta pay a deposit." So I'm like, well, that's messed up. But so I called around a few hotels, and if it be like one chain, like if it's Clarion Inn Hotel in the same chain as Quality Inn, it could be two Quality Inn hotels, and one location required deposit and another doesn't. Or if Clarion may qualify, I mean, they might require a deposit, but Econo Lodge might not. I guess it depends on the individual hotel manager, I guess. But the extended stay, I didn't realize that the 45 or 55% off deal was supposed to be if you booked for at least 7 days. So I only had 2 days worth of help plus a little bit left over for bus fare, laundry, and food. Um, so I'm too tired and exhausted, and it's getting too late for me to do laundry today, this evening. So tomorrow I guess I'll wash the clothes that I've been having on, and so I got a little lost. Well, I didn't really get lost, but I accidentally got off at a stop sooner than I was supposed to. But I made my way to the other bus, and both of those buses were kind of late. Well, the other bus was more late, but they had these ghetto fake thug people that got an attitude with me when I was trying to ask, where to take the bus to get here. And then I was followed, and stalked with nothing but one headlight, and it gets old. So then, let's see. So then I came here, checked in first, and settled in, and then um, afterwards I went to go and try to get quarters from the hotel guy. He told me to get quarters from when I was trying to get quarters for laundry, and he said I had to go to the convenience store across the street. And the lady, she got an attitude with me. So then they had these. I'm gonna say it because I know the difference between a legal and an illegal Hispanic. So they had these illegal perps following me. They even followed me in their van across the street and followed me from where I was at to go to the not, I don't think was it a gas station? Yeah, a gas station, convenience store. And they followed me across the street and then monitored me go in the store and asked about the quarters. And then they sat in their van, and then they didn't even go in the store themselves. They just parked there and waited for me and then left. And so then they'll follow me from one place to another, and then follow me to like two different places. And so I'm like, y'all, they got that freaking nerve. But um so then I went to they got a whole bunch of dozens and dozens of lots and lots of Mexican restaurants here in Cincinnati. So this is the second one I tried, and I mean, I could tell that the people there were legal. They were legal Mexicans. So, I respect that. Um, so I mean, as I said, the online perps and fake TI perps want to falsely make it like as if I'm inherently prejudiced of Mexicans because of the color of their skin. And I've never been that type of person. So they have a false narrative that they want to maintain. So I mean, if I was prejudiced against Mexicans, I wouldn't even eat at Mexican restaurants. So I had some enchiladas. I tried to get what was kind of cheaper on the menu because it was kind of expensive, like $21, like $21.99 or whatever. And I'm like, wow, can't afford that. So I got the enchiladas, beans and rice, and they had free chips and salsa. And so I had, it was beef enchiladas. And so that was $12.99. And I had the Mexican dessert sopapilla with ice cream. I don't like whipped cream and cherries. And it had some chocolate syrup and honey on top. And so the server, he had limited, I could tell he was legal Mexican. He was legal Mexican, but he had limited English, and too bad I forgot a lot of my Spanish, and too tired and exhausted to try to even practice Spanish, anymore. And so, but I don't know why he insisted on wanting to give me 2 cups of carbonated water. I don't like carbonated water. I wanted regular water. And so yeah, carbonated water is just nasty. I hate the way it feels in my mouth. I mean, if that's the case, let me drink a soda. But I don't like carbonated water. So so then I try to get them to get me some 2 cups because when I go to restaurants, I'd be like, "What can I have?" They say, "Oh, what can I get you to drink?" "Oh, 2 cups of water." That's what I ask just about all the time. But for breakfast, sometimes I'll be like, "Well, could I have 2 cups of water and some orange juice, or maybe apple or cranberry or something like that?" But not all the time, but a lot of the time. But I usually get like 2 cups of water because I feel like, well, if I feel like I try to make the job. mm, I try to not have the server to keep running around and running around. So I feel like, well, if you can give me 2 cups of water, um, that can that will save you a second trip, for getting me, you know, some more water, that'll save you a trip. That's how I be trying to be considerate and be trying to look out for them. And I'm the type that try to organize and stack my dishes when I'm done eating, and to try to I'm trying to organize and kind of pre-clean the table, so that all they got to do is just pick up the plates and stuff. A lot of the time, just like when I come out of a hotel room, I try to pre-clean and try to give the housekeeper less work, and all they got to do is like strip the bed or something, and I pre-pack the trash and everything else. Well, I guess they got to clean out the tub and clean off the toilet and all, but I don't leave a whole bunch of trash and all over the place. I try to make their jobs easier. Try to be considerate, and respectful. So and so then afterwards, I came back to my room, and the hotel guy, he was nice, but at first he said, "Well, I have $20 whole," because I went to the ATM and got some money, so that I can have enough for bus fare and laundry. And so at first he told me that he had the $20, for quarters, and then he's like, "Oh, well, do you have $10? $10? Oh yeah." I'm like, well, after going to the Mexican restaurant, then I you know, after going to the Mexican restaurant, then I was able to get some change. So he ultimately docked things down to where he ended up only allowing me to have $5. But I was trying to get more than $5, at least $10 in quarters, because of what the perps do with the doggone laundry. So I don't remember everything, but I'm so tired, and I started to doze off in the tub. Well, I didn't. I mean, when I was standing up taking a shower, I started to doze off, being sleep deprived, and so um I settled in. What time is it now? It's 8:40 p.m. And so while I was in the shower, I was thinking up some more short story ideas. Um, but I'm too exhausted and tired to write. And as soon as I get off this video, I'm going to bed. So thankfully, the water was great with taking a shower, and the heater is warm, so I don't have to worry about being cold. And so I mean, tomorrow I have to do laundry. I have to wash my clothes. The clothes that I had on, they start to get icky and nasty. So I've been trying to keep it to a minimum of my walking around with my backpack and not extra stuff because um how people if I carry around more than one bag, people treat me with prejudice for being obvious homeless, and I get wrongfully banned from XYZ places of business. So if I keep it minimum to one bag, people will think that I'm either a traveler or a college student. Even though I am homeless and even though I try to be clean. But I hate this forced lifestyle though. They won't allow me to be independent. I have to wait around for somebody to hire me, and they say no because they're narcissistic and think that they're superior or that I'm not good enough or I'm too retarded. Now I'm too mentally off, slow, and retarded. So it seems kind of like my whole body hurts, my whole body is sore, my whole body is exhausted. My teeth are kind of starting to bother me a little bit, and I'm getting low on my bentonite clay supplement. I need some more coconut oil, and well, I'm good on my green supplement. So I am overwhelmed and tired that the whole entire world is now they're mad at like they got mad at me for like when I went to Greenville, South Carolina. I mean, even it all started when I went to Los Angeles. Oh, go back to New Orleans by your family because we don't want you here. Then when I go to Greenville, South Carolina, oh, go back to Los Angeles. We don't want you here. I'll go back home to New Orleans. Well, I don't see why you came back here. It don't make no sense. You're unwanted will make you think things gonna change. Don't come back down here. Oh, I don't see why you came back here. Why did you come back here? Why? Why? So then I go to Pensacola, Florida. Oh, why would you come here? It don't make no sense for you to come here because there's no housing here and this and that, whatever. I'm like, well, it's amazing they got other homeless people. They get housing, so they just was blocking me. So so then I come here. Oh it was you moved to one of the worst places in America. Why would you come here? You'd be better off riding in the back of a semi truck. That's what the online perp had told me. And then the person acted like they wanted to protect me and be on my side about the Mason, them being nothing but Freemasons, gang stalking me and pretending to work and all. But yeah, I could tell you one of them because why would you tell me that I would be better right that I need to leave Cincinnati and that I'll be that is one of the worst places that I would do better off riding in the back of a semi. So they got people taking the opportunity to act like they want to lure me here, lure me there. Like, oh well, they either want to lure me to their place or they act like they want to come where I'm at. Oh, I'm coming to Cincinnati by you. No, I don't. I don't want to be friends with nobody. Damn it! Due to this gang stalking, I'm scared of humanity anymore. I'm scared to get close to anybody anymore. I've been hurt too much, and I'm scared. I'm traumatized and need to heal. So oh well, why did you move of all places Cincinnati? Why you didn't move to Mississippi or Alabama? Because the KKK, and they're still overt out there. So KKK and Southern racism. Downtown Pensacola was covert racism, but they weren't. They wouldn't call you the N word to your face. But see, I've been interested in Spanish since a young child, like 10th, 5th or 6th grade. I took an interest in Spanish, but before then I was always interested in different races and cultures. And hell, growing up in foster care, you know, the fake foster mom, like this is what happened. Like one time I was 12 years old in seventh grade, or maybe I was 13 in eighth grade, and my favorite teacher, Miss Verga at Gretna Junior High, she was a white lady, you know, and so the foster mom looks Creole or Native American or mixed. I mean, I showed y'all pictures, and so but her mother, Mildred Collins, looks white. So I think the foster brother Joe had some friends over. I was 12 years old. I was a kid, or 13. And so I showed pictures. You know, I used to like to show pictures of my favorite teachers in school and stuff. And so the foster mom got mad and said, "Showing all the pictures of them fat ass white women." That's exactly what she said. And then I used to hear them gossiping and discussing, talking about poor white trash and all that. You know, so or if I were to be friends with, you know, a Hispanic or Asian person, you know, the foster mom would try to force divert me to, you know, thinking that I should have only a dark skinned black boyfriend, because that's what she wants to try to force me to like what she likes. You know, I mean, she had a light skinned husband, so I mean, I mean, I was always interested in different races and cultures and stuff growing up. And then at first I thought it was certain races of prejudice of this and that or whatever towards me. And then I realized it ain't just a race thing, it's gang stalking. And everybody doing it. So but I used to love all everything Spanish um from like about sixth grade and on throughout college. But then once I moved to Denton, Texas, they had a lot of the illegal immigrants, and they gave me a rough time. But then when I got to Los Angeles and not realizing it was part of the gang stalking, that they abused me to the point where I was actually traumatized by Mexicans. Not generally Mexicans, but the illegal ones, not the legal ones. Because when I went to East LA, the Mexican Americans, I got along well with them, and they were quiet and respectful. And some of the Mexicans that are Christian, and even I guess they'd be illegal, if they're Christian Mexicans, they're quiet and respectable. But the illegals, it seems like as if they trash up everything, loud with everything, and just reprobate, and they commit all kinds of crimes. I mean, that's common knowledge. So so I mean, I began like to grow a certain hatred towards illegal immigrants, because of them tormenting, terrorizing me, and making me feel unwelcome in my own country. But I didn't realize it was part of the gang stalking. And then dealing with that with my own race of people, plus white people, plus Asians, Arab, you name it. But I felt a specific trauma with the illegals and their culture of I used to hang out with this Mexican family that had a store a couple of blocks down from my house in Los Angeles, and they used to have a store. And the man's name was, almost in Los Angeles, almost everybody, if your name ain't Carlos, it's Jose. So the man's name was Jose, and he had a daughter with the Japanese name, and he had like I think at least 3 sons. And so I used to hang out with them and talk to them all the time. And they used to try to tell me, suggest that I should go to Jalisco, Mexico, that Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. They were saying I should go there and that I would, be living good over there. But I didn't know how to get over there. They said, "Oh, you don't need a passport to get over there." Well, I couldn't even cross the border to go to Tijuana without. I'm like, well, I thought that if you just cross the border and go a certain amount of miles, then you didn't need a passport. But I guess to kind of find out you do. Um, but I went to Mexico in December 2015, New Year's Eve. And I was an illegal American in Mexico for 1 hour, but then I came back. But they loved me and didn't want me to leave. And I mean, and then when, like, they gave me a hard time. Me and they had a lot of Mexican Americans trying to get into Mexico, and they were refused because they needed a passport too, because they were considered an American citizen and not a Mexican citizen. But I had a passport, but my passport was expired, and I didn't have the money to, I just wanted to go and explore and stuff like that. But um, and everything over there is much cheaper, and it kind of was reminiscent of Costa Rica. So I laughed that I was an illegal American in Mexico for 1 hour, and then left. Because people in San Diego, when I went to go to San Diego for a while, they were suggesting that, oh, why don't you should go to Mexico and you don't need a passport to get over there, just go across the border. And then, like, there's a lot of people doing it. So it's like, but then some people, like, they were warning me against going to Mexico, some people, because they said, a lot of the human trafficking, drugs, sex traffic, all the trafficking, organ everything, So and then shortly before I left out of Mexico, they had a whole bunch of gunshots that they said they shoot guns and shoot and kill people like every day. So I had to run from gunshots. So then I came back, um, and then they gave me a hard time and would not allow me back into America. And so I remember the story of when I was a little kid. I do remember being in Texas and also Mexico, and the foster mom, she looked more Hispanic than we do. And so she said that the border patrol agents tried to take me and my twin sister away because they thought we were Hispanic. And she laughed about it. But who knows? They probably were trying to take us away and try to traffic us. You know, well, she was trafficking us with the doggone foster care. So they probably wanted to take us to traffic us and probably manipulated her to believe that, oh, we think they're Spanish, we think they're Hispanic or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I have my bachelor's degree in Spanish, but due to social isolation and lack of communication with people and everybody being so mean, I gave up on a Spanish major and Spanish career, and I can't even perform. I'm too disabled to perform, um, and nothing's ever good enough. So I don't remember the border patrol people trying to take us, but I do remember being very small. And there was a table way taller than us, and I remember the Mexican sombreros in the blankets. I remember the blankets. I remember going to the Alamo, in San Antonio, I think. I remember going to different areas of Houston, Texas, and Austin, the fake cult Bible class, the fake IDMR cult conventions, and picnics and seminars and all that. That was the majority of the traveling that the fake foster mom did, was mainly fake IDMR cult traveling with picnics and seminars and conventions. Or she would go visit her brother JB, and and the last time I saw that man in person was the foster grandma Mildred Collins' funeral, and I never saw him again. It's like, so the foster mom would think it's none of my business why she's not in, Why she's not close with her brother, but she shunned me and my twin sister for not getting along. But she manipulated it, you know. But she had fights, arguments with her sisters. So she wasn't as close with Dana, who's now deceased, but she claimed that Mickey was her best friend. So we saw Mickey's face more than anybody, because we only saw Dana like a couple of times a year. But Mickey, we were always by Mickey house, or Mickey always over by our house. But maybe once every 2 years we'd go by Dana house for the holidays, like Christmas, Easter, whatever. But JB has always been in San Antonio, Texas, and he's like a ROTC retired. I guess he's retired ROTC instructor. So the Foster family, they got connections. They got success. They're successful people to be so damn wicked. So I think I heard that the foster mom was mad at her brother, the only brother, JB, because I heard that he owed her money or something and didn't pay her back, and they haven't been talking for a long time because of that or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here talking memories, I mean, I guess when in foster care, when we were super little, we used to travel a lot of a lot through Texas, But after living in Denton, Texas, and dealing with the racism, they call you the N word to your face with no hesitation. I don't think I want to set foot back in the state of Texas ever again. And now I have no reason to. Even though I got my twin sister and a few, Wyatt left Texas, but I think Derek and Mark are in Texas, but they don't want me around. But I do not want to ever set foot back in Texas. I don't ever want to set foot back in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I hate traveling the West Coast on a Greyhound bus. I hate traveling from Texas all the way through California on a Greyhound bus and taking that Americanos bus. I hate it. So, I mean, I guess if I could fly on a plane, it'll be fine, but, or rent a car or something, but I hate taking the Americanos bus with the Greyhound. I hate taking that, riding anywhere between Texas and California. And then right before you get to Los Angeles, then you finally get a relief and take a regular Greyhound bus and not the doggone Americanos bus. So, but yeah, I mean, after the abuse and dealing with the illegal perps in Los Angeles, that left with the extreme noise campaigns and stuff like that. That left me traumatized to the point where I felt like I wanted to stay away from the West Coast, and I didn't want to live where there's a sanctuary city. I mean, I didn't even want to be around them because they traumatized me. And they act more entitled than us Americans. When we go to the food banks in Los Angeles, they always feel entitled. I mean, they treated us, excuse me. I mean, even the illegal Mexicans in Los Angeles, they worship and idolize their own kind. So if you were different from them, if you go order some Mexican tacos, if you weren't Mexican, you'd be first in line, and then they serve their people first. It's even the Salvadorian people with the pupusas, they do the same thing. serve their race of people first and make you wait 4 hours, and you're wondering why is everybody getting served before you, and then they'll wait till last to serve you. And I heard an Asian female say that she got treated with the same discrimination, that she tried to wait for some Salvadorian pupusas one time, and that they made her wait until last, while after they served the Salvadorian people, then they served her last. But then I had to, like, in New Orleans, there's a few people mixed with black and Korean. You know, they were mixed with black and Korean, and some people mixed with white and Korean. So when I got to Los Angeles, and I thought Filipinos like to intermingle with blacks. So once I got to Los Angeles, I was shocked to realize that Filipinos and Koreans are prejudiced against black people. So that they don't like black people. And so when I would visit David Jane, they had that foreign lady, the Filipino lady Tina, that was one of the house moms over at where David Jane lived at. And I was wondering, why did she treat me with such cruel prejudice, but she barely knew English. And so David, you know, would always tell me that Tina would say this about you, or Tina would say that about you. And so I mean, I got pictures of me and David hanging out. I used to treat David out all the time. And one time, David, his adoptive brother and dad, took me to this party at some park, somewhere in Los Angeles, near Hollywood. And David's brother lived downtown. And like, David couldn't give me an explanation of, you know, if David was, he used to complain to me about going through a hard time where he was at. A couple of times he called me up crying and begging for me to let him come stay by me. But he said that he couldn't, but he wouldn't explain to me why he had to stay there at the place. And you know, that he wouldn't be allowed to like leave Los Angeles or something unless it's with his adoptive dad. So his adoptive dad is Indian from India, and his adoptive mom, I never met her, but I heard she's from Paris, France. And he would tell me about going to Paris, France and stuff like that. So I mean, David said he's you know, that he's Filipino. And then I thought David was Indian from India or Hispanic because he looked like the ex-boyfriend Alex Mendez. They look and talk similar. And so David, I met him at the fake Hell's Way Church. And then, you know, that's how we became so-called friends. And so David used to be like, well, that's why people don't go to church because, you know, he said, that's why people don't go to church because church make you feel guilty. But nah, it's not church in general. It's just we dealt with an abusive church, a toxic, abusive church, with the Korean Ben Fraud, the narcissistic Korean Ben Fraud, Ben Lim, and Eric Gullix. And Eric was a white guy who delusionally believed he was a thug, and he'd been in and out of prison. And he was a narcissistic fake pastor that wasn't even ordained. And they said Eric was going around scamming people, and that he was required to register as a sex offender and stuff like that. So David, I was trying to, you know, talk about how I would try to be there for David and be supportive and be a friend to David. And David didn't really used to bully me like that. You know, but David, like this lady, she was half Mexican, half white, and her name is, I call her Fake Dolores, from the fake Hell's Way Church. And fake Dolores was an abusive, a mentally off, slow, retarded, abusive, narcissistic perp. And fake Dolores, Jaco, well, she pronounces it Jaco, but the Spanish way is Jaco or Jaco or something like that. I think it's Jaco. So fake Dolores acting like she wants to control me and David's friendship and try to think that she abused and victim blamed me about being raped by the other guy, and she's like, well, now you go and date David. And then it seemed like when I got raped by the Freemason, the whole church turned against me and started to act abusive, narcissistic, and controlling and everything. And then they abused me to the point where I withdrew from the church for months, for a long time. And Eric would bully, harass, and threaten me to go back. But when I was going there, he treated me like a pest and treated me like I wasn't wanted. And then he was choose favoritism, and everybody was the favorite except Candy, except me. So I felt unwanted and unwelcome at that fake Hell's Way church. And they used to single me and David out and treat us a certain way, but at times they would treat David better than me. But they used to say that about both me and David. They used to try to call us greedy, both of us, And I was an eyewitness when Eric tried to say, Eric, he cares so much about money, and lied and said tithing is the only way to salvation. That right there, I left the church. But he will always bully people about tithing, Eric. And so then after that, one time Eric told David Jane, he said, you can eat 6 plates of food, but you can't tithe, David? Well, the place where David is at, they would control his money and control his medication. He was living like some kind of group home, for people with, I guess, some mental disabilities, And David always kept a secret from me. He never told me what his mental disability or mental, I don't think that he was mentally ill, but I think he was actually mentally disabled. I don't know if he could have been if he had autism or what kind of mental retardation he had. But yeah, Tina, and there was a few other Filipino ladies there. I think Josie was the only nice lady over there. And Mr. Ramon, Mr. Ramon and Miss Josie, they were the only two respectful and nice Filipinos there, And then they had the white friend Sarah, and me, Sarah, and David hung out a few times. That didn't last very long, and then Sarah started to act like a perp and act weird. So at that place, David's roommate, Christian, was bullying and picking on him. And so I had to rescue David from being picked on and bullied by his roommate Christian. David was literally in tears, crying, and traumatized because Christian bullying and picking on him. And so nobody black lived up in that place. You were either white or Filipino living up in that place. And so David, I had pictures where David invited me to go to his housemate, the guy Reggie. Reggie's also Filipino, and Reggie was nice and respectful. And I had pictures, of the birthday party, of Reggie's birthday party. And so there were pictures of me and Mr. Ramon and David Jane all hanging out and making goofy faces and smiling and, eating and whatever, So, me and David used to hang out. I used to treat David out a lot. And David used to work, and his his co-workers, sometimes if I would meet up with David at the end of work, and then but I did not realize David was a two-faced fake friend the whole time, just like the ex-boyfriend Alex was an Alex Mendez was an abusive, narcissistic, two-faced fake boyfriend the whole time. So it might be true if David said that he never did like me. That's heartbreaking. It hurts. Because they used to try to elevate David to think he's better than me at the fake Hell's Way Church. And Eric was an abusive, narcissistic perp. And Eric used to use neuro-linguistic programming and throw up Illuminati hand signs behind the pulpit, the fake pulpit, and stuff like that. And I never saw Eric in a suit. He would always dress like a street thug, all tatted up had his arms tatted up and everything. He looked like Guile or Guile Guile from Street Fighter video game, Street Fighter 2. So but David used to think that Eric looked like Eminem. No, Eric didn't look like no Eminem. But I guess he thought the idea of a white person trying to be a black thug, But Eric supposedly had 4 kids with a black woman, but I never saw the kids or the ex. But he had a Salvadorian girlfriend named Melissa. Used to be nice, loving, and respectful. Then she became abusive and narcissistic once the church found out I was raped by the Freemason. So, when narcissistic abusers, when they find out you got raped or beat up or taken advantage of, they treat you like a punished child, and they got the authority to take all your personal rights away and think that they own all your rights, that you don't have any. So once the church betrayed me, and then Melissa started to get extra controlling and acted like she hated my guts, but then try to be very controlling. So and then David would come and tell me that when I would be absent from the fake Hell's Way Church and not going, it seemed like they tried to bully, harass, and threaten me back in the church. And that was a small church, and they operated like a cult. And so they got mad at me for questioning them, questioning their beliefs and their motives and everything. And every time I would leave the fake Hell's Way Church, I would always feel psychologically, mentally, and emotionally very drained. And in the same way, when I go to the food bank in Hollywood, I would feel spiritually drained, like everything is sucked out of me. Once I got back to my house in LA, in South Central Los Angeles. Yeah, David visited my house quite a few times. Me and David used to go to the beach and hang out together. We would go to restaurants and eat together. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, that's not the David that y'all seeing online. That's not the David that I knew that's not the David that I hung around with for 4 years. I promise you that's not the same David Jane. Something happened to David. Something happened. Spiritually, something happened to David Jane. He's not the same. It's not David. Something took over David. Because David used to be meek, humble, and shy. David wouldn't hurt a fly. Seriously. But now David think he can act all tough and be trolling and bullying and lying, making up lies online. But David used to do sneaky stuff like sneak into my bathroom and smoke cigarettes when I didn't want people smoking in my house. But David, he did used to lie a lot. Lie, and the ex-boyfriend Alex used to lie so much. Do nothing but lie. Lie about stupid stuff, So I mean, but when David, they said that David used to eat like a pig in the fake Hell's Way church. But if I spent money on David to buy him a fish dinner, or some good cake or something, and he would take one or two bites and then throw the rest away. But then when I took him to this Asian restaurant near University of Southern California, USC campus on Jefferson, I forgot the name of the place. But David was licking the plate. I'm like, David, what are you doing? And then I took him to a Korean restaurant, Korean barbecue restaurant. He was licking the doggone plate. I never licked the doggone plate. I did when I was a little child. Now, when I was 5 years old, I think I was 4 or 5. I think could have been 4. And the foster grandma Mildred Collins, I was eating. I don't remember what I was eating. I just remember being in the afternoon and eating dinner. And I was licking the plate after I was done. I was like 4 or 5 years old. And the foster grandma Mildred Collins, she didn't tell me, Candy, don't lick the plate. No, what she did was she beat me upside the head continuously until I got the hint to stop licking the plate. I don't know why she did that to me. But see, as I said, once somebody's dead, all of a sudden you're forbidden to say anything bad about them, or like I think I faintly remember the foster grandma Mildred Collins used to beat the shit out of the Joni's brother James when James was like 10, 11, 12 years old. And she used to beat him upside his head and make him cry. And the foster grandma Mildred Collins, she used to make threats to, I'll knock the living daylights out of you. Saying, I'll knock the living daylights out of you. So, speaking of Mildred Collins, she had a cat named Calico. I don't know why I kept thinking that cat's name was Nicole. Well, the cat Calico scratched me on my arm. I think I still had the scar from when I was like 3 or 4 years old. Very little. And that doggone cat, yeah, I have a line scar on my arm when the cat scratched me. Yeah, I mean, but I'll say this. Mildred Collins was like the best cook in the doggone world. And April was the second best. And then Dana was like third. But Mickey couldn't fucking cook. The foster mom Ann was worse of a cook. But, I mean, the foster grandma Mildred Collins, her gumbo, we're from New Orleans, so her gumbo was the only gumbo that I ever liked. Other than that, I really don't like gumbo. Never been too crazy over gumbo. I do not care about gumbo. I only liked her gumbo. But the foster brother Joe would make gumbo. He would make it abusively too spicy. Abusively too spicy. But the foster grandma Mildred Collins, she had the best spaghetti and meat sauce or meatballs, and she would use ragu, but I like Prego better, but she would use ragu and somehow make it like amazing. And she used to have this egg stew that we all used to fight and throw tantrums over. We used to fight each other, and my twin sister used to sneak and eat up all the egg stew and then blame it on me. One time, like, we were about 9 years old, and they celebrated the foster sister Joni's birthday. Probably her 15th birthday. No, 14th. Something like that. Yeah, I think 14th. And so the foster sister Shelly and the foster brother-in-law Brian, they bought Joni some box cake brownie mix. Boxed brownie mix for her birthday, because Joni, she liked brownies, we like brownies. So this is how dirty my twin sister used to be. Like, we were kids though, but So when my twin sister ate up all the damn brownies before any of us could even know that the brownies were done. And then she blamed it on me and lied and said that I was the one who ate all the brownies. And then the foster brother-in-law, Brian, Shelley's husband, Brian, forced me and my twin sister to both swear on the Bible. Like, I didn't know that was forbidden to do something like that. He bullied and forced us to swear on the Bible that we didn't take it. And then it's like, and I got in trouble. And so, like, my twin sister was bold enough that she will lie. And that's why I said she's the type of person who will lie under oath and feel no shame. And so I got in trouble from the foster mom and got wrongfully punished for telling the psychiatrist about that incident. And so the foster mom got mad and punished me because like when I said that I didn't feel comfortable or believe in swearing, putting my hand on top of the Bible and swearing on the Bible. And so the psychiatrist, Dr. Champa Chakraborty, the child foster care psychiatrist, she said, well, if you was too scared or didn't believe in it, then why did you do it? I said, well, because Brian did have me afraid he was going to whoop us. That's what he was going to do. He had us afraid that I said, because I was afraid he was going to whip me. And so the foster sister, Shelley, and the foster mom, they all got mad at me and punished me with the silent treatment for at least 6 months. And so I'm still not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. You know, didn't talk to me for like 6 months or a year. Mad at me for a long damn time. I was a doggone child. They wouldn't do that to their own kids. So, I mean, my twin sister used to do stuff like steal popsicles out of the freezer and then blame it on me when we were 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. You know, and then I get in trouble and not even allowed to explain myself. And she used to do stuff like, I would keep my side of the, like, at first we would share the same room. And then by the time we were 4, we would share the same bed. And then by the time we were 7, we had the same room but different beds. And so the foster mom used to terrorize us with abusing us with torturous, abusive belt whippings. And then my twin sister used to take all her stuff and put it underneath my bed and then blame it on me. And then me and her get into an argument, and then the foster mom whipped me and not her. And then I end up being traumatized. And so then eventually, by the time we were 9 years old, we each had our own bedroom. And then the foster mom finally discovered that my twin sister keeps the doggone room dirty. And I was the one that was always clean because I was just terrified of whippings. And then I get a certain age and they diagnosed me with OCD. So I didn't even realize I was considered so meticulous and everything. That because I was traumatized by the torturous belt whippings that she wasn't supposed to give us. Because after the foster dad Al died, we were 9 going on 10 when the foster mom was mad because the state told her to stop whipping us with belts. So then she started to beat us like a street, that N-word, I can't say that N-word, but a street, nah, yeah, I can't say that word. But but she used to physically abuse and beat on us. Like, I would be 7 years old, and one time I told somebody from the fake IDMR cult, I said, look at my new shoes, and she bust my lip. She got mad and bust my lip for telling a man, look at my new shoes. He was part of the cult. You know, I didn't know. I was a little kid. And another time, my twin sister beat up this boy from the cult named Blake. Not my cousin Blake, but a different Blake. Wait, she beat up Blake or she beat up another boy? Well, she beat up some boy and then lied and said I did it. And then the foster mom gave me like a beating that I would never forget. And guess what she did? Bust my lip. She was constantly busting my lip when I was 7 years old. She was 42, physically abusing and beating on us. And I used to hate that woman when I was 7 years old. But then she used to make threats to get rid of us and put us in a group home. And she used to frighten and threaten and intimidate and scare us. And then when they had allegations with the foster cousin Kirk and Brandon touching on my twin sister and stuff, we got taken away from the foster mom. And it was on Christmas and we were 7 years old. And they had this big black lady talking about investigation. I'm like, what's going on? CPS been called on the foster mom for a few times. I'm like, what the hell? You know, even Miss Verga, the teacher from 7th grade, she called the CPS on the foster mom when I was in 7th grade. And when I was in 3rd grade, that teacher, Mr. Stopenall, she called CPS on the foster mom for putting the braids in my hair too tight. So yeah, I mean, that's why I'm all kinds of fucked up in the head now. I never liked my self-image because, you know, being black and growing up, you know, bad enough we got called the N-word, but if other black narcissistic abusers would be like, if you don't sit your cotton picking tail down, like they would use the slave, I guess the way their ancestors was treated by the white slave masters, they treated us that way. And it seemed like as if their victimization with racism, they took it out on us, the kids, and then it become multi-generational. And like they say, there's a lot of multi-generational trauma in the Black American race, especially dealing with blacks in the hood. So, and they say a lot of us are still in slave mentality. So, if they whip, like parents whipping the kids with belts, I heard that come from slavery. The rich white slave masters whipping the black slaves with belts. So then nowadays they chemically lobotomize you. Another way of slavery with the mental health system. That if you don't comply, they force medicate you. Yeah, another way of the chemical ass whooping. So so then excuse me. So, you know, us getting whipped with belts are called names like cotton picking. You know, if you don't sit your cotton picking tail down, or if you don't sit your narrow ass down, or they say something like, oh, you know, that's why your hair look like a pickaninny. You look like a pickaninny. So, or they'll call you picky headed or nappy headed. And then by the time I get in 7th grade was the first time I got told I have quote unquote good hair or pretty hair. But growing up, I was called picky headed, nappy headed, pickaninny. I used to run away from perms and relaxers and lock myself up in the bathroom because the perms and relaxers were traumatizing, and I get chemical burns on my head and my scalp. As I said, foster mom used to put the braids too tight, and that in the way that we would end up with sores in our head, and my scalp would be itching, and we ended up with stuff like seborrheic dermatitis. So, yeah, I mean, I told y'all stories about how the foster mom used to do stuff like force me to stand on my knees and eat out the garbage can at 3 years old. She forced us to sleep outside at 3 years old. I think I remember that happened more than once. I think I was spiritually oppressed as a little child. I was spiritually oppressed. um, some embarrassing stuff that too embarrassed to even talk about. But um, I think I was demonically oppressed and spiritually oppressed dealing with martial arts and the cult. I didn't realize that martial arts had an occultic spiritual effect on you. And so I used to wake up having a lot of nightmares as a child and wake up with bloody noses. They have some people who say that I was I mean, that's what made me wonder if I was an MK Ultra child. If I wasn't, growing up MK Ultra victim. Me and my twin sister were MK Ultra. But it wasn't extreme like the sexual stuff with the celebrities with the feline print clothing and all those triggers and codes. Like extreme, it wasn't like extreme MK Ultra or total MK Ultra, but when I was reading Fritz Springmeier's books, I'm like, wow. I start to wonder if it seemed like I had a lot of those symptoms of doggone MK Ultra victim. Like I had a lot of weird childhood. Like used to wake up in the morning with bloody noses at 2 and 3 years old. Like I don't know why I used to wake up with bloody nose. And I think they had that demon possessed cat, an evil cat named Tom. Used to scratch us all up when we were little. Scratch my legs up when I was little. It was a great cat named Tom. Then I don't know if they were playing games with us, but they said the cat Tom had died, and then there was another cat identical, and the cat also name was Tom. So they said Tom died, and then they got a new cat that looked just like it, also named Tom, and the other Tom used to act the same doggone way. Tom was so evil. I thought I would hate cats because of Tom. But then the two cats, Samantha and Star. Star died like shortly after we coming into our care, and she was like 6 weeks old, and Samantha was 8 months old. So the cat Samantha I think was the reason how or why I became in love with cats. But then I felt bad because I was a child, and we had abuse done to us, but I felt bad that I acted out the abuse on other kids and certain pets and stuff. But as I said, I got a certain age and said I wanted to break that cycle and didn't want to be an abusive person. I feel terrible, bad that if I was a child myself, but if I physically abused and put my hands on the kids at school, or if I got bullied and abused by them too, getting beat up every day, getting whippings every day from the foster mom, or if I hit Kyle or hit Juju, if Kyle was 4 and I was 11, if I hit Kyle, or if I was 12 and Juju was like, I don't know, 2, if I hit Juju, and I got a certain age and didn't want to do that, be that kind of person no more. I was still a child myself. But I was 3 years old, and the biological gay brother Mark, he used to physically abuse and beat on us too. I remember him hitting me when he physically assaulted me when I was 3 years old. And he could have been 12 or 13. And I just dealt with a lot of beatings from people growing up. And I used to act out in school. But as I said, I talked about this before. But they got some new YouTube subscribers, and I talked about on my other channels, but I'm glad to be able to correct what I was brainwashed to believe growing up. you know. And then, after finding out the truth about the cult and everything, and finding out about the Illuminati, one of the first things I did was, was repeatedly suicidal, and then found out the truth and became a Christian. And I still sin and do wrong and still struggle. I'm a weak Christian, I know. I should be a stronger Christian, but it's a hard battle. Dealing with the gang stalking and everything, and then I have the desire to want to be on the path of righteousness and not evil. You know, so I'm pretty sure I used up a lot of my storage space right now, but I thought that I would have gone to bed already because I had lack of sleep because of last night. So, due to the sleep deprivation, my legs are swollen, and I need some more water to drink. My legs are swollen, and I can't even fit my other pants, my capri pants. That's all I got, the capri pants and the t-shirt, my jacket and hoodie and my sweatpants and socks and their panties and bra and all. You know, I I didn't. I mean, I need to wash those. So I took a good hot shower. Um, my itching is less at the moment, but I got that bottle of alcohol next to me that if I start itching, I'm going to spray. Spray because I was itching like crazy the past couple of nights and couldn't sleep. And I'm like, damn, I don't even remember. Um, I don't have any recollection. Maybe, yeah, I don't remember catching bed bugs from any hotel in Pensacola. Maybe, but I just don't remember. But in Mobile, Alabama, I told y'all about that Port City Motel, the Oyo Port City Motel. Oh, I did. You know what? It used to be called America's Best Value Inn and Suites, and it was right next to the Greyhound station on Pensacola Boulevard, and they changed the name to Sweet Dream Inn. But when it was it was America's Best Value Inn and Suites. Yeah, I remember getting bed bugs from there. But the only advantage with me personally being homeless on the streets, if I gotta sit up and don't have any blankets or anything, like during the summer, the bed bugs go away within 3 days. Naturally, just go away if I'm on the streets. But if I have a roof over my head, the bed bugs would take longer to get rid of. So I might try to take 2 or 3 baths tomorrow if need be, and make sure I get my clothes clean and spray down with lots of alcohol to get rid of these fuckers. And because I mean I can't afford it to be itching all over the place. So I'm always spraying down my backpack, and so yeah, I mean, with the money donated to me, I mean, I spent it on 2 nights in the hotel. So far, one meal. No, I'm sorry, 2 meals because I had breakfast and then dinner, but no lunch. And then I'm gonna use some of the money for laundry, and then some food to eat tomorrow. And let's see, food to eat tomorrow, and also did I say laundry? Yeah, and like bus fare and stuff. I mean, That's all I've been mainly been doing. But I mean, I'm whenever I get my money, um, I guess I probably can, if I can get the convenience to go to a grocery store, I need to get me. I mean, I would like to get another jar of coconut oil, and I have to and um stretch out and ration my bentonite clay, because lately I've been brushing my teeth with the clay because the coconut oil clogs drains. So I just take it internally. But the clay, I brush my teeth with the clay. I don't use fluoridated toothpaste anymore. I don't wear deodorant anymore, and I've been stopped wearing deodorant. And people don't really tell me, oh, you stink or anything. I can go like 3 or 4 days with no deodorant and still not smell musty under there, you know. So, if anything of stinking when I'm on the streets, it be like smelling like pee because of the forced urination and the direct energy weapons and stuff. But other than that, yeah, I don't be really but then narcissistic abusers, they'll tell you you're nasty, stinking, unsanitary on purpose just to be cruel and mean and evil. You be then just got out the tub, taking a shower, and they say, "Oh, you stink. Go back and take another shower." But normal people, they'll be like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong. You're fine. You're fine." But they just want to be extra critical and extra hurtful and exert more power over you. Your average person ain't gonna go around saying you stink, you're nasty. But abusive people do it. Especially after you just got out of the shower and you got OCD and they're extra clean. They had a few people say that they admire and appreciate me being extra clean. And there was a guy today that on the bus that complimented me for being, I sprayed down the alcohol on the seat because the bus drivers here and in New Orleans and elsewhere, they don't give you any chance to sit down first. Yeah, the moment you be just barely putting your fare in and they pulling off. I'm like, this is unsafe, you know. So but I sprayed down the bus seat. I mean, like since being here, I haven't been using the trash bag for the bus seats. I try to look for a seat that doesn't look too dirty, and I try to sit down, you know, um, but I don't get much of a chance to spray down or sanitize the seat or put down a trash bag or anything. But one cool thing about these buses here in Cincinnati is that they you can plug in your phone. They have outlets you can plug in your phone, and they have Wi-Fi, but they won't let you use the YouTube or upload or download anything. Um, it's just for basic browsing. You're allowed to use the Wi-Fi. You know, so as far as like the fact that I'm just about out of money, just about um the fact that I reserved the last bit of my social security check. I set it aside for to try to get my driver's license switched over. I don't know if I'll do it between tomorrow and Wednesday. I mean, I'm still trying to see because as I said, due to what Trisha did to me, I don't want to accept anyone's offer to go and stay by them. I'm not doing that no more. After Trisha and Lisa Ruby and that other lady, I'm not doing it no more. Um, I mean, I could have either been dead or institutionalized dealing with Trisha. And Lisa Rubio seemed like she was secretly plotting her and her husband. I'll never believe anybody again lie and say that they're Satanists turned Christian, and then they're still behind closed doors secretly satanic. And then you're narcissistic on top of that. Yeah. Use the Bible to manipulate and abuse and play psych games, and then try to manipulate somebody into feeling frustrated and not want to believe in Jesus Christ no more. That's dangerous. I don't want to be like that. I want to believe in Jesus. I want to believe in Jesus Christ. I don't want to give up on Jesus Christ because of what people toying psychologically, mentally, and emotionally and spiritually toying with my soul. You know, so I mean, I'm scared to get close to anybody, like friendship wise or emotionally or even romantically, for many different reasons due to this gang stalking and narcissistic abuse. It's really scary out here. And I don't want to get intimate with nobody because of you know what that's going on, you know? Can't say it on here. So, um, yeah, so I'm rejecting any offers to, oh, come stay by me, come here, come to St. Louis, Missouri by me, or come to Grand Rapids, Michigan by me. No, I ain't going nowhere by nobody. No, I ain't going nowhere by nobody. I'm trying to independently fight to get my own place because I don't want to go somewhere and find out somebody's a perp or that somebody trying to set me up. I don't want to be living in with a handler because I'm extra sensitive about that handler thing. And I don't like being controlled or abused. You know, I'm trying to fight for my own independence back, to get my own place again, to get my own job again. But I know the gang stalking network is the reason why it's been years that I haven't been able to successfully establish, you know, a permanent home that I've been fighting for. But then if I did, they would bully me and torture me bad enough to be forced to break the lease or end the lease early because they want to be obnoxious real life trolls that if they torture you, direct their energy weapons bad enough that you got to be going to the emergency room almost every day thinking you're dying of a heart attack. And then you be gaslit and sent back home and told that you got the best EKG they've seen all day. And if I've been sleep deprived for 18 fucking days straight with no eyes shut. So, I mean, this gang stalking and everything got me traumatized by humanity to the point where I'm scared of humanity and I hate humanity because I'm even scared of myself. Because of sleep deprivation, you end up with less self-control and be scared of yourself. You be that freaked out about everything. Heightened sense of emotions with everything, you know. I'm scared of and can't trust myself when I'm sleep deprived. But I know the Bible said we ain't supposed to trust ourselves anyway, or that we're not supposed to trust each other really anyway. I know that, you know, the ultimate trust is in the Lord, you know. But I'm still bad. I'm naughty, you know. And I feel like I'm having difficulty with, you know, trying to strengthen my Christian faith. And I know people say the main thing is to, you know, link up with other people from the body of Christ. But you never know who's fake and who's a perp. Because they can pretend to be fake religious all day long, but they be the dirtiest, worst perps. And they can call themselves chosen ones all day long, but they still do perp stuff. You know, and then it seems like the ones who say that they're chosen or Christian, they orchestrate the grimiest setups. So you hear that noise harassment? Hell no. Right by you hear it? Oh, I think that's a plane. So tomorrow, I think the only work I'm gonna do, I need my body and my mind. I'm sleep deprived, and I need to rest. So thanks for helping me, and allowing me that opportunity to regroup and rest, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. To rest and chill tomorrow, and just go to do laundry tomorrow. And Tuesday, um, I guess 50 degrees is cold. It's very cold, but I guess it's tolerable. But I have hard time handling 65-degree weather. I think it's cold, too, like uncomfortably cold. But then Thursday is supposed to rain and then get down to like 21 degrees or something. That's why I'm hoping that they hurry up and help me with the job. But they have somebody who acts like she wants to move here to Cincinnati and link up with me, but I don't see any gang stalking footage. And like I feel like I'm scared to trust her. I'm scared to meet. I'm scared to meet up with people anymore or hang out with people anymore. Because I hate when people flip and betray you, or they get controlling to the point where it make me want to flee. And I don't like being controlled or abused or told what to do. I mean, everybody, they ran me out of Pensacola, and then they said, well, they say you should have stayed in Pensacola. Well, I don't have the money to go back, and I'm not going back. I've been wrongfully kicked out of and banned from just about everywhere there. Ain't got nowhere I could go. So I think that's a setup for me. Oh, the official no trespass ban. Oh, you're going to jail. So now I'm in Cincinnati. Oh, that's one of the worst places you could have picked, or one of the worst decisions you could have made. Or, oh, well, why you didn't go to Mississippi or Alabama? Or, oh, you should have come back to Louisiana. Or, oh, why you didn't go to Arizona? Or, oh, you should come such and such place by me. Or, oh yeah, I'm coming by you. Or, oh, maybe you should get out of Cincinnati and go somewhere else. Like, I'm just sick and tired of people trying to dictate and control my life decisions. I already explained on one of my more recent blog posts. I explained how I ended up here, and who knows that if they might find a way to run me out of here by Tuesday, and I have to go somewhere else. And still running around with a Florida license plate, or those bastards might do something like immediately, like instantly after I get the driver's license changed over. Then all of a sudden, oh, now I have to leave Cincinnati and go somewhere else. So that's kind of another reason why I'm kind of trying to wait and see. I don't know if I could even be a resident here, or if I have to bounce and go somewhere else. I don't want to go to Boston, Massachusetts. Well, that's where Trisha's from. I don't want to go to Jacksonville, Florida. I don't want to be nowhere. I wish I could be out of the United States. But it would be hard if I couldn't speak Thai. I don't know what it'd be like to live in Thailand. But I guess I'll die never getting to fulfill that wish to visit there. I don't know why I'm kind of fascinated with Thailand. If I feel like I want to go there, I wish I could go back to Costa Rica to visit, or bounce around to different Latin American countries. Or I always felt like I want to travel the world, but after 9/11, they make traveling to be a pain in the ass torture. They make traveling unpleasant. And I hate taking a Greyhound bus. You know, so it's warm in here, but my mouth is dry. I'm feeling thirsty, and today, like all day, all my teeth have been hurting today. But I guess the bentonite clay, it could help soothe my teeth in the meantime. Like I think I only have like a few days left worth of the clay, to brush my teeth, and me trying to stretch that for the rest of the month. I'm glad they have a Whole Foods here, but I don't know. I haven't checked yet to see if they have a Trader Joe's here. I love both Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, but I don't want to be homeless and go to those places. I like when I have my own place to live and go, and I like to go grocery shopping, and I love the special cereals from Trader Joe's. I love the coconut oil. I love the maple sandwich cookies. I love. I mean, it's been a while since, so there's certain items I like. I like. I love a lot of the seasonal items, and Whole Foods. I like certain things too, but in Pensacola, all they had was that fake ass Everman place. And if that would not have happened, then I would have loved that place. I would be drinking smoothies every day for $5, and my fat ass would have lost lots of doggone weight. And even though it was more expensive than Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, but I love the bakery items and the breakfast food there. And I like the soap that they had and certain vitamins and stuff like that. But I'm deeply heartbroken that I'm wrongfully banned from both locations of Everman and can never go for the rest of my life. All because of homeless discrimination. All because of homeless discrimination. Can't go back to O'Reilly's because of the homeless discrimination and gang stalking. And a lot of other places. So I'm really tired. So maybe tomorrow while I'm chilling, try to do laundry tomorrow. And then I hope to write a few, maybe 2 or 3 short stories tomorrow, and hopefully earn some money with the short stories. Sorry, I'm in the dark because in this particular room they don't have a plug next to the bed, and the lamp, I'm not sure if it works. So, but I was able to talk this long and not take up as much storage space on my phone. But I have to go across across the room to the dresser and plug my phone there. So I can't have my phone right next to me to look at the time. No, I got to get up and go across the room. Get out of the bed and go across the room to check the time. So, thanks for listening to me ramble for nearly 2 hours. Anything helps. As I said, I'm not taking it. I'm not letting nobody lure me to somewhere and manipulate me. Um, I don't trust going to stay by nobody and then get blamed again, like what happened with Lisa Ruby and Trisha and all them. So I'm fighting to get permanent housing and get my own place again. But the gang stalkers are stopping it. I'm fighting to make my own living. They're stopping it. Trying to, they don't want me to work and they're lying, say I'm lazy and don't want to work. So I'm rambling on a lot, and I really don't want for y'all to take offense to anything I said earlier in this video. So I have the information in the description box of almost all of my videos, including this one, on ways you can support and help me. And you know, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but I mean, if they offer me, if I'm chilling and resting tomorrow, and they say, well, Candy, can you come in to work at 2:00 p.m. today? I would like to be ready and say yes. Just hope I don't get workplace mob. So thanks for listening to me, and I need any and all the help I can get. Um, I mean, being targeted is difficult to trust people. So the online perps are abusive and narcissistic enough to lie and say, "Oh, Candy just wants a luxury in life. She just wants your money." No, I already explained what's going on, and they're mad because they can't control me. So that's why they got their smears. So I'm gonna go for now. Thanks for listening to me. Hopefully this will be the last video for the night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.